Tackle Junkies, what's going on, fellas? Rod and Reel Arsenal Part 4 coming at you guys today. I get so many messages about these videos. Really pumped that you guys enjoy them this much. Today's going to be on moving baits without treble hooks. And we'll get into more of that in a second. But I just want to thank you guys for all the support. You know, all the thumbs up you guys have been giving me. Really appreciate it. Like I said before, it really motivates me to put out more videos for you guys. You know, I'd appreciate it right now if you guys would just smash that thumbs up button. You know, leave me some comments, leave me some feedback in the videos. You know, my goal this year, which I never told you guys, was 40,000 subs. We got like 5 months left. I'm approaching 36,000. It's gonna be down to the wire. You know, if I'm gonna make 40,000 subs, I need your guys' help. Like I said, share the videos, like them, leave comments, you know, motivate me to put out more videos to reach my goal. You can do it! So like I said, guys, much appreciated. You guys rock. Moving baits that are not, or that do not have treble hooks. Now don't get me wrong, now I've used all 3 of these rods here for cranking. They work just fine, but if I'm gonna crank, I prefer my actual cranking rods that have a little bit softer action. But the EVX here on the end, I cranked with that rod all spring long, worked out just fine. But mainly I use these rods for spinner baits, chatter baits, smaller buzz baits, flukes. I love these rods for flukes, fish head spins, you know, baits that I'm moving, but like I said, that don't have treble hooks. I've even used one of these rods here in a pinch for a drop shot. It worked out just fine. So, but let's get right into it here with, let's go with a lighter rod of the 3 here. I actually have 3 of this combo here. This is one of the first rods that I got from Okuma a few years back. Love this rod here. This one here is the Okuma TCS Martin APC. It's an all-purpose rod. It loads at an eighth to 3/4. And that's why this rod is so much fun to fish with. It's got a soft action to it. And you can just launch like a 1/4 to 3/8 ounce spinnerbait. Like I said, it does handle more, but on this rod, 3/8 is kind of my max. That's why I feel comfortable on this rod. It handles that weight really, really well. You can launch it. A blast to fish with. It's a 6'9", medium heavy. Like I said, it's got a moderate action to it. This was the rod that I've been using for spinnerbaits mainly for the last, you know, couple seasons. We do have a 3/8 on here right now, Picasso. This is my go-to rod for flukes as well. Like I said, I like that shorter rod. That way when I'm working the fluke, I'm not smacking the water. It is great for little top waters, killer little chatterbait rod. Like I said, spinnerbait, little buzz baits. Great rod for moving baits, lighter action to it. Loads, like I said, lighter weights. You guys ask all the time, mono or fluoro for spinnerbaits. It just really depends what I'm doing with the rod. You know, mono is so versatile. I can throw if I want to throw top waters on it, I can. You know, and 2, I throw spinnerbaits so much that I like to swap out my line a lot just because I'm constantly using these rods. And it's expensive to constantly swap out fluoro. So I do have a couple with fluoro, but mono is what I go to mostly just because it's cheaper line and it works well. Cigar Cinchi is what I use the most, or pretty much what I use all the time. I don't even think I have any other mono. I mean, I used to use Suffolk Siege, which is still killer line. But Cinchi is what I've been using for the last few years. On this particular rod right here, I do have 15-pound mono, and it is a 6'6" Helios TCS reel. If I had to pick one thing for this rod, I mean, it's a killer fluke rod. I love it for flukes, but quarter ounce spinner baits, it's a blast to fish with. All right, next up we'll go with, let's go with this one here, which you'll see on all 3 of these rods here, I have spinner baits tied on. I mean, it's this one I throw the most, but this one here is an actual spinnerbait rod. This is the Okuma EVX. I believe it's a 6'8", medium heavy, moderate action to it, 1/4 to 1 ounce. So this rod here, it does handle a 1/4 really well as far as spinnerbaits go. This one, usually 3/8 to a 1/2 is what I like to put on this rod here. And I usually don't throw anything over a 1/2 as far as spinnerbaits go. But killer rod here. Like I said, this is the rod here that I used all spring to crank with as well. You know, killer little rod, guys. It's rated spinnerbait. When I say spinnerbait, worm rod, but you know, spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, again, buzz baits. I've used it for flukes, top waters, shallow cranking. I mean, it's just a good all-around rod. Again, I want to stress that, you know, I'm saying it's a good all-around rod. If I'm going to crank though, I do prefer my actual cranking rods. But if I'm just going to the farm ponds and I'm just going to grab a couple rods, if I grab this one here, I know I'm going to put spinnerbaits on there. I'm going to put crankbaits on there just because it does have a moderate action to it. Not as soft as a cranking rod, but still softer than your faster action rod, and you can work a crankbait with it just fine. But this rod here, again, I do have 15-pound mono on it. This is a 6.6 Saros reel. Great little reel there for 100 bucks. But, and the rods too, this one here I believe retails for, I want to say 100 to 109, and the TCS is 139. And then the last one, again, I have a spinnerbait tied on it. You know, this one is the Martin APC. Okay, it's similar to the first rod I showed you, but this one's a 7 foot and it loads at 3/16. So a little bit stiffer rod here, but not by much. Martin APC, 7 foot, medium heavy, 8 to 20 pound test, 3/16 to 3/4. Again, like I said, I have a spinnerbait tied on there. 6.6 reel. This one is 15 pound Seaguar and VizX. This rod here, I'll pretty much put on what I put on with the last rod that I showed you, and I'll throw a 3/8 half on here. But I just like the 7 foot rod when I try to get some distance. That longer rod will give you a little more distance. But if I had to pick one lure that I always put on here, besides the spinnerbait obviously, it would probably be a chatterbait. You know, this is a great chatterbait rod, and I really like it for smaller buzzbaits. So, you know, I get a good cast with that longer rod, softer action, loads up really well. 6.6 Helios TCS reel, 15 pounds, Seaguar and VizX. I do have 2 of these combos. That's it, guys. Part 5 would probably be on, we're gonna go with like my heavy stuff. You know, jigs, pitching and flipping, things like that. That'll be part 5. But hope you guys enjoyed part 4 here. If you did, give me a thumbs up, guys. Really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll talk to you soon.